Live on Facebook. Boom. Bip.
You ready?
Hold on. Here we go. And it's on.
And we are right back at you with another episode of In Brotherly Love. I am your host, J. Wendell Gordon. Let me tell you something. Look, I'm tired right now, and I know that's very unprofessional. I've been in trial all day, and I just want something to eat, man. I'm hungry, but something to drink. But I got this show to do, and that's what we're going to do. My name is J. Wendell Gordon, the Warrior Lawyer. I'm from the DMV. I'm a dad, HBCU grad. And these two guys are my brothers. And I'm a brother. I'm a father. I'm an uncle, cousin, everything else. But most importantly, I'm here with you all this evening, and I'm very excited about this show we have. And before we get started, I'm going to go to my brothers, let them tell you who they are, and then we're going to jump right into it. So let's go.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are right back at you once again. This is Jeff Gordon. I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm a brother to these two kings right here, but I am also an HBCU grad from the Hampton University, the standard of excellence. So here we go. We got an exciting show. Ladies and gentlemen, we talk about relationships today. I don't know how. This is some baby boy stuff right here. This the young brother type stuff. I don't really know how this is gonna play out. I guarantee you it's gonna be exciting, but I think y'all might need to go grab a drink on this one. Y'all need a drink. Y'all need some chicken wings, because I think this is gonna be real interesting.
Oh, and before I go, I forgot to mention that I'm from Morgan State University, the baddest, the boldest, and you know this ain't no other HBCU greater. It ain't Howard. That's number 3 on the number 2 list. Is Morgan State University. Let's go.
You see how he had to throw that in there. What's going on out there, folks? It's Jason S., the voice Gordon, the baby of the bunch. As everybody knows, I'm a graduate of the best HBCU known to man, always in the top 2, and we ain't number 2. Home of your MVP, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, none other than the Mecca, Howard University. As you can see, we've got the 3 major HBCUs in the area covered. But we've got an interesting one, and as my oldest brother Jeff said, we're gonna talk about, we're gonna break up the monotony because we were getting real political. So we're gonna talk about Black relationships, Black love, and war, because that seems to be the direction that we've been moved in. But we're gonna try to reconcile that. And tonight we've got a wonderful a wonderful guest. You would even say that she would be considered a high value woman. We have Dr. Maria Shindler with us tonight. She's going to give y'all a little bit about herself, and then we're just going to just have a conversation about the dynamic between Black men and Black women tonight.
My name is Maria Shindler. You almost got it right. It's like Schindler's List. You didn't have to see, but you know what? You get credit. You get credit. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm an auntie. I'm a physician who specializes in sleep. And y'all aren't going to outdo me, because I too am a graduate of an HBCU, the most esteemed Meharry Medical College, where I earned my undergraduate medical degree.
Okay.
So we're in good.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. We're going to give you that for the night, since you're our guest.
Come on.
But that's you on the battlefield now.
Ready.
That's where we start scrumping.
Listen, I'm all day. I'm good.
She a little spicy there, a little spicy.
Ready.
So Doc,
yeah.
We if we look at how society has molded the dynamic between Black men and Black women over the years, and then most recently, we had Kevin Samuels, who's kind of dug a bit of a wedge. How would you say the dynamic between Black men and Black women has evolved into what it is over time? Do you see any causes in this? What do you see?
I think this is a manifestation or evidence of colonialism at its original intent, which was and still is to divide Black families. No question. It's about self-loathing and self-hate. It's about economic downtroddenness, right? I think it's all part of an ulterior motive and we fall into it. It's generational curses that we didn't begin, because we're going to be a little political. The United States was literally colonized by criminals. And so people always say, oh, why is America like this? America is criminal at its core, but we're going off on a tangent. But that's, my elevator speech.
So y'all got the warrior doctor on the line.
hey, she came out swinging, huh?
Yeah, she did.
You say y'all was America was started by criminals?
Look, that would be something I would expect Jay Wendell to come up with. So Doc, what has your experience been like dating? Like, what is it? What have you experienced? What are the highs and the lows that you've experienced?
I've had some amazing men in my life, some amazing relationships, and I've had some crazy ones, right? But I think it's all part of the journey. I think that I cannot blame other people, because ultimately we all have free will, right? No one can control anyone but oneself. And so really, in terms of relationships, and this is all about tying back into generational curses and what's handed down to you, you can only do as well as you've been taught, or what you're willing to learn, or what you have your viewpoint open to, that, oh, this exists. And so I take responsibility for my own position to a degree, because I made choices based on what I knew at the time. And so now I'm hopeful at 47 years old, that I know greater to do better going forward. So yeah, it's run the gamut. I have some stories,
Wow.
Mute, bro.
Huh?
You can go ahead. You can go ahead and start with your stories. We got time.
You want the good stories, the bad stories? It's interesting. I think a lot of women in general tend to be socialized that we want to be wives. And that comes for some women, depending on your self-esteem, at a cost. And sometimes the cost can be at yourself. And that's not everybody's situation. So just the other night, I was at a party. I was telling Stan this. I was at a fraternity party, lots of dudes there, etc. There was one dude, who was on me, buying me drinks, blah, 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 chatting it up, no problem.
Getting your sauce.
What's that?
He was getting you sauced.
That's not possible. But, I understood like what the intent was, right? Keying it up.
Yo, you can't get an anesthesiologist sauce. She'll put you to sleep first.
My drugs always win.
Stripes.
Right? I always tell my patients the guarantees in life: we're gonna die, and my drugs are gonna work 100% every single time. No laughing. That's a guarantee.
Wow. Wow.
Look, that's better than you can't fix stupid, but you can sedate it.
Why do you think I chose anesthesia? People talking, I'm like, okay, that's enough. Done. So at this point,
that one right there, y'all better watch that one.
I'm just relaying my story, right? So,
yeah,
the dude is asking me questions like, do you live alone? What's your backstory? He's telling me I live alone. He lives in Maryland. He's like, that's not far to go between, Maryland and Jersey. I swear, all the BS about I'd love to cook for you. Okay, no problem. He walks me to my car. It was a late party. Like I got there about midnight. Okay, so it was like 1:50. Right. I should have known when he was like, well, don't you want to hang out a little longer? I'm like, oh, no. It's my bedtime. Like, but you have my number, you know how to get to me. So he tells me, let me know when you get home, yada, yada. And so this goes back to trusting your gut. So something was telling me all Sunday that something was just off because I didn't hear from him. And, we're not in a relationship. I don't know him. And I said,
right.
Something just doesn't sit right, because a dude who's really interested in you doesn't because it was like a 24-hour lapse. It doesn't happen.
Right. I know what that was. I know what it was.
Tell me.
You're trying to do something before do something.
Of course. But this goes back to like what
One night
always amazes,
down.
go ahead. What always amazes me about certain men, because I don't want to lump all men into the same category, because this man is the same age as me, so he's 47 years old. Like, how are you such a fool? So I'm in Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, spring '96. So we were talking about how he was Sands, and he was asking me about, oh, how active are you in the sorority? And I was talking about I'm a general member. This dude was giving me advice like, oh, well, you should become, take these steps to become the basilisk. There's all this. So, women, let's be honest, are the CIA. So I'm like, and he gave me his number, his whole name, where he lives, the whole. Turns out, I Googled him.
Yeah.
His wife comes up.
Right.
And I was like, well, maybe, from a blurb in 2017.
No.
His Facebook is all the way real.
Right.
Find her. Oh, look, there's a family photo from May 1st, 2022.
Yeah.
And when I look back on it, this dude had his fraternity ring, which I thought, but you know what? I give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to say the fraternity. Over his wedding,
You already said it.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Okay. They know where they need.
That's a good story though.
Oh, but here's the picture. And
so he had his fraternity ring over his wedding band?
Yes, and his wife is also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, sir. Wow. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna scare him, not directly, right? So it's
bad move.
Screenshots and have a broken line with a burner phone. Sends him the screenshots, like, you know what? Because he's being disrespectful to his family. He's out there.
Who are you, the family police?
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Let her finish, brothers. Let her finish. Let her finish. Let her finish.
This is gonna be fun. All right, baby sis. We're gonna work on this. We're gonna have fun tonight.
No, let her finish the story. She got the burner phone. We're at the burner phone now. Yeah, we had the burner phone.
You put some
screenshot
effort
him
into
the
that.
photos, like, you really should be more careful because it's a small world, which it in fact is. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not one that I have no place to ever go to his wife. That has nothing to do with me. But I feel like if you are making a choice to misrepresent your position, you're misrepresenting your family, you're disrespecting your wife by taking those actions. If she's under the impression that y'all are still married and in a relationship and you didn't disclose that to me, it would be different if he told me, look, I'm married, laid out on the table, so I had a choice. He didn't.
He said he was trying to do something before do something.
Those two are not, they're not mutually exclusive.
Can I ask you a question though?
You may.
Like, what part of the night, evening, morning did you decide I'm gonna go out and buy me a burner phone?
I didn't buy the burner phone. It was my girlfriend. My friend was like, I'll do it for you.
You made your girlfriend go out and buy a burner phone.
I certainly did not. She already had one.
You just ain't gonna let shit go, you gonna be that joker who
hold up,
just
wait a
keeps
second.
shit going.
Wait a second, Jay Wendell. You gotta listen to how they operate. She said her girlfriend already had one.
But her bullshit is your bullshit. Your bullshit is my bullshit.
Listen, I told y'all I'm in a place in my life where I'm taking a higher road. And I said to my friend, she put the batteries in my back. I'm like, you know what? I should send these photos to him and be like, you know what? You need to be more judicious in your actions publicly. I was like, but I'm not going to do it because it's not worth the energy expenditure. She's like, oh, I'll do it. I was like, okay.
No,
Yes.
Maria, don't. No.
Why?
Throwing away my shot.
She asked. I'm so glad she asked. So I don't have to give anything. I don't have to say anything unsolicited. She asked me why.
I welcome this. Please.
Because
yes.
Okay, you found out everything you needed to know, even though he did take your choice away from you. I do understand that, but you found out what you needed to know. So why do you need to strike back? He's in Maryland. You're in Jersey. It's over.
Why
He
do I
didn't call you. So, and I'm sure, like, and I wanted to ask you, were you all intimate in any way? And I don't mean have sexual relations. I mean, listen. Was he rubbing your back? Was he rubbing your arm?
Yeah.
Did he kiss you before he left?
I would never allow that, but no, he did not.
So why do you feel, then what are you upset about? Because there was no intimacy. It was just great conversation with a dude who you thought was a decent dude.
You're not gonna spin this on me like that, sir.
Is that a
spin? No intent.
Did I spin?
But no. you were definitely lawyering this one up.
No, incorrect. Because you know what? When he first spotted me, asked me if I wanted to dance, cool, we had a party, no problem. We danced a couple of songs. He's gonna go do whatever, cool, nice to meet you. Circles back to find me, right? Wanted to get my whole life story. Are you single? Who do you live with? Blah, blah, blah. Would love to see you again. All of that.
He was trying to break you down.
I'm not married. I don't have children. That's not what he told me. He lied by omission. Did he tell me no? I am not married. He didn't say that, but he didn't. You know.
Did you ask if he was married?
No, I didn't. But see, I live my life. And it's a philosophy. I'm going to give someone the benefit.
We need more women on this show.
Until they prove otherwise, right?
We need more women because I don't want it to appear like we're picking on you, but we're enjoying you. And I
am never scared. I am never scared.
So
I'm fine.
The funniest thing is that in the comment section, our comment section right now on Facebook is live. Like they're going off. They're like, boom, there goes the dynamite. She would have asked at some point. Tell on the game. Y'all talking about.
It's like, how did you get so vested in such little time?
Look, so my wife even jumped on the jump. Was like, y'all talking about.
I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did you get so vested in such little time?
Vested.
Great question.
Yeah.
It's not about being vested. To me, it's about accountability. And so, who made me the accountability police?
Yeah.
My thing is, he misrepresented his position. And as a woman, okay, and I don't know, maybe his wife is cool with him dating other chicks, sleeping with other chicks. I do not know that. But I go back to my premise that if everything was on the up and up, he would just come with it. Or maybe I'm making many assumptions about somebody I don't know, which could be the case. But let's be real. More than likely, he was just trying to do him. And once he realized, for whatever reason, that this was not going to, the math wasn't mathing, he probably wouldn't be able to get.
He wasn't going to be able to cash out on them chips.
He's like,
tonight.
nah, this isn't going to work. It wasn't working.
I mean, you sending photos, and
Maria
ain't gonna work.
But Maria,
Yes.
Maria, let's really kind of analyze this.
Let's.
Okay, he didn't touch you intimately.
Right.
From what I hear you, and I guess I'm repeating myself, y'all had great conversation. Maybe you did the dance floor. Maybe he did express some interest in you, in your background and your lifestyle. He walked you to the car like a gentleman since with you that evening. Maybe that was the nice thing to do. He didn't try to kiss you before you left. He did say he wanted to see you again, but he never called. So he was bullshitting the whole time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was bullshitting the whole time. And it may not necessarily have been that he would have, if he had the opportunity, maybe he wouldn't have gone all the way with you. Maybe he would be like, you know what, let's catch up another night. It's like catch and release almost.
I suppose. So it could be part of his MO that to take my phone and put, dial his number into it. So, and call his phone. I mean, you're right.
That sounds like sport fishing gone bad.
It sounded like sport fishing to me.
It's sloppy.
It was sport fishing gone bad.
Because he never called.
He
didn't call.
Which is fine.
He didn't call.
So,
and what night did you have your friend with the burner phone start sending them pics of his family? Was that the first night, second night, fourth night, fifth night that he didn't call? Sixth night? When did you do it?
Oh, I see. No, I met him literally on, let's say, technically Sunday morning, because it might have been like 12:01 a.m. since we want to be on technicalities, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had last heard from him on Monday about 8 p.m.
What do you say?
I'll call you later.
Wonderful to meet you. I realize that Jersey is too far for me. I wish you the best. That's what he said.
That sounds like a text message.
It was a text message, yeah.
So,
Y'all
so-
crazy.
so
Y'all
he said.
something else, boy.
So he said in the text
And
message.
so then you started sending them pics of his family afterwards, after that, or
I didn't send the
before
pictures. My girlfriend did.
yeah, but you're responsible for it.
But so
You
he
gave her the
said
number.
so wait,
She
so
has
he
free
said-
will. I control nobody. You know, that was one of my opening statements. I control nobody but Maria Shindler.
So wait,
Whatever
he said
somebody else wants to do, that's on
Hey
them.
y'all, we gotta invite Maria to the cookout. She
For sure.
she is a firecracker.
Hey, so he sent a text message essentially saying that this is not going to work, and then you sent pictures of the family.
Because at that point, I realized that he's married and his wife is my soror, and he's trying to give me advice about the sorority. That's just to me an extra level of you trying to amuse yourself, right? Like, haha, this is cute. Like, it's just not necessary. It's too close. And unless they're in an ethically non-monogamous relationship, which I highly doubt, but to be fair, I don't know. He's out here disrespecting his family.
Okay.
That's my position
So
on
so
it.
so
Okay.
Maria,
Hold
so
on,
that's
I don't-
one story.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
one
want to.
story.
Yeah, tell us about so
Yeah.
in your experiences with dating, like and advancing to relationships,
Mhm.
because as you said, you're a physician. You've worked long and hard on establishing your career. What have you noticed when you've gotten into or started to develop relationships with men that have caused these relationships to kind of fizzle out towards the end?
Fundamentally, incompatibility or about personal accountability, I would overlook things that I, in my gut, knew weren't a fit, but in the spirit of like, well, let me see if it's really true. It always turned out to be true.
Oh, so you went looking for stuff. Is it okay to go through your man's
No,
phone?
I don't take it as that, but it
Show you.
sounds like you said there were things that you initially saw
Yep.
that you knew made you all uncompatible or that you knew that you didn't like, but you continued to pursue. And then I guess as you continue to pursue, it got to a breaking point.
Right. So the fire that the feeling that one has in one's gut, because your intuition is never wrong, ever. And so that's
What's your sign?
I'm a Taurus, the best.
Ah, the Taurus.
So, so did you
what's your
following
love
any
language?
20
Hold on, guys. Could you finish the question? Could you finish
My love
answering the question?
language. Can you remind me?
Yeah.
I don't read. I don't, honestly. Can you tell me what the
Jason can
categories
tell
are?
you. Jason can tell you.
Okay.
What'd you say? What was
What's
that?
her love language, Jason?
I couldn't tell, but there are 5 different love languages. There's acts of service, quality time, receiving gifts, words of affirmation, and physical touch.
It'd probably be quality time and physical touch. If I
I
can
knew it. I knew it.
You probably thought I was going to say gifts and words.
No,
of
I didn't. No, you do that for yourself.
Indeed.
Right.
Yeah, but I think you like to. I'm not even gonna articulate it, but I'm not surprised.
Why?
Well, you're very passionate, aren't you? You love hard, don't you?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
something to be.
Yeah.
When someone is worthy of that, and that goes for anybody. I think that's how we all.
And so when things don't go exactly the way you think they should, that's when you start picking up red flags.
No, that's inaccurate.
Okay.
That's inaccurate. No. People, it's the cliche, people show you who they are. When they show you, believe them. And I think a lot of times, going back to one of my earlier statements in this show, that women, we're socialized to really struggle through, because I'm gonna love you through this. I'm gonna love you through your BS. I'm so down, I support you, all of that. But at what cost? So I'm accountable in the fact that I haven't listened to my gut when people have shown things about their character or however they want to live. Because I thought, well, maybe I can accept this, but ultimately I could not. And that's not about being rigid or, inflexible. It's about honoring myself first and not losing myself in another person, because nobody but me can ultimately make me happy. Everything else is an addition.
So at this stage in the game, are you looking for more? What is it that you're looking for? Are you looking for complementation? Because uh, as a sister who has achieved great heights, you know what I'm saying? You're in one of the most lucrative fields in medicine. What is it that you would be looking for in a mate?
But like, it ain't all about money. You know what I mean?
I didn't say that. Yeah, no, that's why I was asking her.
Well,
That's why.
I mean, she is a high performance woman, no doubt. And, in terms of her achievement, she's probably second to very few.
Correct.
But
so that's why I'm asking.
There's something else going on. It's something else going on. Jeff, tell her. Jeff knows.
No, bro, don't put.
No. You ain't good. Yeah, you ain't gonna pass that book.
Hell no.
Yeah, ain't nobody touching.
Don't put me in on that.
Yo,
you got the shovel.
You got the shovel, what it was. It's like she's a standard bearer.
Correct.
And she's got to meet somebody who meets her standards. I'm being politically correct.
So without revealing your standards, what ultimately, when you're looking for a mate,
right?
What is it that you're looking for?
I am looking for someone who is fundamentally a kind person, who has integrity, who is assured in himself, who is supportive of me emotionally. Those are the things that matter. And so how does that tie into money? It doesn't matter. Someone could be, I'm not interested in how much money someone makes. I'm interested in the currency that they move through life with.
That was deep.
That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, until them bills start coming in and he's sitting up there playing PlayStation.
But
a man who I'm thinking about wouldn't be that.
So the currency,
you still got to be equally yoked.
So the currency
there's different nuances to that.
So the currency of life, that was a very poignant statement. Yeah. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
I think it's about, not like going off into my woo-woo.
Give us your woo-woo.
Okay, that's a good question.
The way that your level of accountability, your level of integrity, I'm trying to think, like, how can I?
Imagine if you were building him, what would it look like? You were put him on. Yeah, you were building him. What would it look like?
I'm looking for those qualities I just spoke to you. Like, I'm not looking for a physical. I'm not.
So he could be tore up from the floor up, but as long as he was honest and he moved through life with the right type of currency, he's good.
Attraction is relative. I have dated
relative to you.
And I have dated.
Uh-oh. Hello? Did the jump freeze?
Once, like, the infatuation of a person wears off, and that wears off for everybody to some level, the question you have to ask, do you like that person? Do they like you?
That's what I said.
Do they like you? Do you want to spend time with them? Is that your friend? Another part of my career, which I don't like to focus on that, is I do hospice. So I take care of people at end of life. And so I see what it is to really witness somebody on the trajectory of their life. And there is such a grace to that you've weathered it through. This person really knows you. Everybody's not built that way, but that's, to me, is what's important. Because all the stuff, man, don't get me wrong, I like to shop, I like things, but it doesn't matter, it all stays here. But who witnessed your life and who's there for you?
So somebody,
yeah, I think that once that infatuation rubs off, the like has to kick in. The like is what's going to take it from here to there. I mean, I know we talk about love and we want the feelings, but if I don't like you, if I just don't even like spending time with you, it's not going to matter how much I love you, because I can love you from around the corner. You don't have to be here. So Now, I think the like goes a long way, and we put a lot of emphasis on love, but
Mhm.
you know, you like your friends. When people say they want to hang out with their friends, they, you know, they could say certain things to them and you not be upset. It's just a certain luxury that comes with that. Like I could say stuff to my brother that I may not say to my mate because, you know, he ain't gonna take it the wrong way. Nor do I really care if he takes it the wrong way. It's just got to be said. so,
That's love.
Yeah.
but
Love is literally
that's the
verb.
love and light. That's the love and light. Like after that, after it's over, it's over. We're done. We move on. I think we move on. I know Jay Wendell, he holds on to stuff sometimes, but
so
But
so
you
I
know,
gotta
but
I gotta I
that's
gotta
as I've gotten older, I do hold on to stuff more, and I don't even know what that is. And maybe I need some counseling for that, but not to the point where it eats me up inside. It's just that I remember,
right.
and I remember how people make me feel,
Right.
and that's it makes me guarded, I suppose.
So I've got a couple of questions over here in the comment section. It's two of them. So one person asked, "Would you date someone making minimum wage?" That's the first question, and then another person wanted to know, "What does integrity look like?"
What? What do you mean? What does integrity look like?
That's what the person asked because she said that she wants to date a person with integrity, and they want to know what does integrity look like to them. And then somebody else asked about, would you date a man that was making minimum wage but handling all of his financial responsibilities? I'm
It's
adding
financial,
I'm adding the handling his financial responsibilities to their question.
If
but
he's handling his financial responsibilities, yes. Now, I will say there's a caveat to this because in my experience, right, which again, it
you'll
comes
date be a trust fund, baby. Like, would you date somebody at making minimum wage? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know.
You said yes.
It can be tricky to find a man. I don't care if he's black. I'm an equal opportunity dater. Okay. But in my experience thus far, men who don't make the same money, I'm not a rich woman. Okay. Like I do all right. They feel a certain kind of way and that comes down to their own self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nuanced. It's not so simple like, oh yeah, no, I've dated men who make more money than me and they feel a type of way about my career. It just depends on how someone's wired, which is part of, the whole journey of who fits and who doesn't.
I agree with that, Dr. Maria. I agree with that.
Okay.
Maria, I didn't know which Maria.
Try to be respectful.
Yeah, because she said something. She's on points. I said.
Oh, and so what is integrity?
So
You got something, Jay? Or did you freeze?
No, she was going on to the second part of the question. Yeah.
And then they wanted to know, what does integrity look like to you?
To me, integrity is actually backing up with actions what you say that you're capable of doing. I think a lot of people talk, of course, I'm going to, do whatever it is, but to really show up, even when you don't want to show up for something that's meaningful and for people who you claim that you love or value, that's integrity. Integrity is doing what's right when you don't want to do what's right or it's too hard. Like, ooh, it'd be much easier for me not to do this. But because of whatever reasons that apply, I'm going to do it anyway.
So one thing that because I think about, people ask or they have asked myself and about how I feel about my wife making 3 times as much as I do. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, I could care.
Put all that out on the video.
What'd you say? Huh? What?
Good. Nothing. I ain't say nothing.
Yeah, but I mean,
I say nothing.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like honestly, once I got into my career, it really didn't matter because I knew that the likelihood of me marrying or dating somebody that was making more than me was higher as soon as I decided that education was going to be my career. As soon as I, when I became comfortable in being, at the time it was a teacher. I was an entry-level teacher. Entry-level teachers at that particular point in time, I was making like $35K, and I was 28 years old, making about $35K. And then I think when I met my wife, I might have actually have moved up to maybe like 45K. But at that particular point in time, it didn't really bother me because I was satisfied in who I was as a person. I knew who I was, and I knew that the likelihood of me meeting somebody making more money than me was high because of the fact that education really wasn't getting money at that particular point in time. But I enjoyed what I did, and I enjoy what I do. And it still doesn't bother me to this day because I am who I am. I handled uh I was handling my responsibilities as when we were dating. I handled my responsibilities when we got married. In terms of making sure that all of the things that needed to be taken care of were taken care of. Um, didn't let anything lapse. I think one of the things that actually brought us together and that actually kind of I knew that that kind of helped me fall deeper for my wife in particular was the fact that she actually saw me. She was there watching me struggle when I bought my first house and I went through the mortgage shock. Uh, Funny story is she was actually on the phone with me one time when I had like it wasn't a breakdown, but I did have a grateful moment when I was thankful that God had provided some provision of food at a time when I had more mortgage than I had money at that particular point in time. And you know, we laugh about it to this day. And she'll probably tell you that time when I was crying over some chicken that I had taken from mom and dad's house, and I had an opportunity to fry it up, and I was really, really thankful to God for that particular provision. But she actually saw me go through that struggle. She tried to help, but at that particular point in time, I wasn't really receptive to the help because I knew that this was something that I had to go through in order to become the person who I am. So, but yeah, like there are guys out there who are not intimidated by the fact that you're making what you're making. Um, and so if you were to run into that type of guy, I take it that how would you respond to that type of guy who was totally satisfied if he was a truck driver and he was totally satisfied in driving trucks, but took care of his house and his family if he had kids and so forth and so on. How would you respond to that type of man?
I think even listening to you talk about your particular story, Jason, it comes down to as long as the person feels so centered and so fulfilled by whatever it is that their purpose is, that feeds them, like genuinely, and they're not looking to external forces to define their worth. If someone really feels that way, that it's absolutely fine.
I agree.
That's what it's about. But in my experience, right, and you know, how many people have I met? Hundreds, thousands, there's billions on this earth. For whatever reason, I haven't come across someone who is at that point in their journey yet.
Wow, even at this stage of the game?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's nuanced. Right. I've met some great people, you know, and for different reasons it hasn't worked out. Is the common denominator me? Of course it is. Right? Like of course. I'm accountable for yeah. I can't blame other people. I can only blame Maria.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Absolutely.
But we're still gathering those questions because
there's a question out there. You see it?
Which one? You can read it. If I didn't see it, you got it.
Got a question saying, do you think a man that has been divorced twice is a red flag?
Yeah.
No, I don't. What I hear in terms of a man who's been divorced twice, that's a man who values commitments more than likely. Do I know that? Like without hearing the whole story, it's hard to comment on things in isolation, right? Like you need nuance. No, but it's not a red flag. It's not. Has he been divorced twice in the past 2 years? Okay, maybe. It's all context. Is he a young dude who was married first at like 24 and then married again at, I don't know, 40? You know what I mean? It just depends. Like everything is contextualized for me. You can't make sweeping statements or generalizations. It depends. No, it's not. That's my long-winded answer.
Okay. Man, so now, well, looks like my wife is just going in, so I don't know if I need to like pay attention to this or not. But but there was like she just said, so the dating pool has pee in it, and that's kind of funny because I did see a TikTok about a week ago about a woman who moved from Atlanta to Charlotte for basically saying that the dating pool does have pee in it. So stop laughing, Jay. When I got to get this question.
It's also got D in it.
Look, it's got D in it, P. Somebody said COVID, TB, and a whole lot of other stuff. But but what have you found? Being in New York and New Jersey, what have you found in the dating pool where you are? Because I think it's interesting that it was a man from Maryland. Granted, he may have been sport fishing, but whatever. But what have you found about the dating pool where you are?
It runs the gamut. I think that relationship, whether you're looking to get married, to be in a long-term partnership, you're looking to have one night stand, whatever it is, you still have to put in work, and there's an element that it's like a job, right? And so there's going to be an element of work, literally. And it's a numbers game. It is a numbers game. I've met some crazy people who weren't right for me. Maybe they're right for somebody else. I've met some amazing people. It depends. It's a numbers game. And as you get older, it's definitely harder. It's definitely harder. But hope springs eternal. There's billions of people on this earth. I refuse to believe that there aren't several men out there who would be good for me.
You know what? That your optimism is very refreshing.
That's facts. Like that's ridiculous. Yeah. I will not speak that over my life. Like I know that greater is coming. There's no question.
My. Good. That preaches that. I might have to find a text for that. I might have to use that one of these days. That's true. So would you say the dating pool where you are, does that make you open to travel and meeting different people?
You mean to travel like a long distance relationship?
Sure. Why not? I'm gonna let you take that question and run with it.
It's tough. I mean, I've done long distance. I think long distance can lull people into a false sense of the infatuation stage, because how you really get to know if you like someone is you got to be around them. So long distance, if you're seeing somebody, I don't know, once a month, twice a month, a weekend, that's real sexy and oh, it's so exciting. You don't know that person. And at my seasoned age, I need to know, like, do we like each other? I'm open to it, but I think it'd be tough. That would not be sustainable for me personally, long term. It just wouldn't. I date a lot. I go on a lot of dates. So there's that.
All right, pimping. I see you pimping. I know that's right.
But yeah, I date. I have to. It's a job. It's a job.
So, I mean, speaking of long distance, like I can kind of attest to that, because my wife and I, we met long distance. We met back in 2006 on MySpace. Met online. We dated long distance. We got married, and then we're married long distance for 8 years. And I can honestly say, like there was an adjustment period when she was done with residency and finally moved into our house in Baltimore. In that like period, you do have to get to know a person. You get to know the person all over again. Because like you said, through long distance, it can give you a false sense of hope because it seems hot and spicy every time you get together. And as I can speak to, Dr. Shindler, my love language is quality time. So every time we got together, it was quality time because we didn't spend a whole lot of time together. And then when you're spending every day together, then you begin to see who the person really is. And then you have to, well, in our particular case, I'm pretty sure we had to learn to like each other because there were certain habits that we had to get familiar with. There were certain quips, certain takes, and different things that you learn to adjust to. But it definitely plays a part over time. And plus, you can kind of see when you look out at the dating pool again. Like we said, the dating pool has pee in it, and it's like, yo, would you rather work on what you got right now, or do you really want to jump back out there and see how much trash is really out there?
Right. Right. Because the flip of that, there's billions of people out there, right? And yes, that's lots of possibilities for greatness, but in terms of the odds and statistics, you're going to run into a lot of nonsense too, and that can wear on your spirit. And I've seen women in particular who make these declarations like, I'm done, I'm choosing to be alone, whatever. And if no one gets anything from me, is that literally you speak life by what you speak over yourself. It's so important. You gotta be so careful what you say. Like, it's a declaration to God, the universe. So be careful what you're putting out there.
Boy, man, you just got so many loves on our post right now. That thing, I'm sitting here just looking at these red hearts.
She killing the game.
Hey, Shawty.
I'm just listening. I'm just listening. I ain't even saying nothing.
Hey, between that and she's handling the warrior lawyer.
Look, she started out kind of rocky, but she steadied that ship, man.
She steadied the ship. Now we said.
Yes, she did.
Hey, she's sailing strong now. She's a clipper.
Yeah,
she's the fastest sailing ship.
Behind
us.
Yes, sirs.
So like, my brothers, like, from a male point of view, like, my brother Jeff, back in the game. What are some things that you kind of look towards now, Jeff? And yeah, I said it. Yeah, I went to you. Yeah, wake up. All right. What are some things that, like, as you yourself, you're also considered to be in that top 2% of earners in the country. So what is yeah, brother? I mean, let's not fake. Like, let's call it what it is. What would you say that you're looking? What are some things that you're looking for now as a man? Because we hear a lot of women talking about what they're looking for, but we don't really hear a lot of men talking about what they're looking for in terms of in someone to live the rest of their life with. So what are some things that you're looking for now, just from your standpoint? You're not the spokesman for all men, but what is Jeff looking for?
Dang, really?
Yeah.
So for me, it's because I'm a thinker, so a lot of intellect. I'm looking for a lot of intellectual conversation. I'm looking for a lot of intangibles at this point in my life. So I want to be comfortable being myself, and that person is happy with me being myself, and I'm happy with them being themselves. I definitely want to get to the like part. I think the love part would be, when you don't worry as much about what's going on, you just really worry about how you're dealing with your day-to-day operations and how you're, managing from day to day. So that's a lot of it. I mean, of course, there's you got to get through the eye gate to get to everything else, but that varies because one person, you may see some features on somebody that you're really attracted to, and other features, it may change from person to person. So it's hard to say generally what it is, but the best I can say is I'm more on the intellectual thinking side of things. So I like to know your thought process is sound. I don't want to have to wonder if something happens to me, what's going to happen to the kids, that type of thing. Like, are you going to take all my money and run? Or are you going to make sure the family is taken care of? I know I got you guys that, to make sure everybody's straight, but I don't want to have to worry about that. Because
stuff will hit the fan if they try to go buck wild.
But, they get that wife tag. It makes it real difficult. It makes it real difficult for someone else to jump in, because that's almost like that's you, basically. When you get the wife tag, that's almost like you guys are walking together as one. So if something happens to me, she's
almost, that's what it is.
Yeah, hey, so. Somebody's trying to throw an alley-oop. They said, describe being yourself. We may know someone.
Oh,
what?
Yeah, that's in the comment section, brother. Comments are popping.
So I'm laid back. I'm like I said, I'm I like a very spirited debate. I like to sit down and have a cigar. I like to sit down and have a glass of bourbon. I like to cook. I like to travel. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to be able to have that conversation with somebody, and it doesn't, regardless of how I may feel at the time, that they'll be able to hear the conversation and not get worked up or try to resolve it. Like they'll be able to know, okay, he's just venting right now, so let's let him vent. Or, you know, he needs me to jump in and kick him in the butt because he, you know, I own my own company and he hasn't gone out to the office, or he hasn't, you know, he might, you know, something might be going on. So let's figure out what that is, or, you know, just stuff like that. You know, you got a proposal to work on, but you ain't work on a proposal in 3 days. And you know it's a 30-day turnaround on proposal and you just wasted 3 days. So you might be like, all right, Jeff, come on, get up. I don't know what it is with you, but you gotta get up and you make light of it. You know, go make some money.
You would appreciate somebody doing that to you?
Not on a, so, and that's the thing. So you got to know when to do it. But that encouragement, sometimes you need someone just to say, you know, hey, what you doing? You need to go make us some money. Let's go do it.
In your personal life, I can see it, but not in your professional life. I would be highly irritated if somebody was telling me that I needed to do X, Y, and Z professionally, unless they were in my profession. Then I probably would listen to it more, but I couldn't have somebody saying you need to get up and work on your brief. Like, what?
But I'm not saying, but they're not saying it in a manner. So,
I know.
So this is for me. So this is for me. So this is for me. So sometimes it's just a reminder that, hey, you know what? Now I got that fight back in me. It's just a little shove. It's almost like a coach. It's almost like a coach. They may not know exactly what you do, but that coach is like, yo, you got to get back in the game. Get your head right. Let's go. You done took your time off. Let's go. Sometimes it doesn't happen very often. It doesn't happen very often, but sometimes you just want to know that that person is able to do that and be strong enough to do it. Because like you said, Jay, I may not like it, but then if I sit down and think about it, like, you know what, you're right. But you have to be strong enough to deal with that because it might be a backlash from that. So you
might.
You have to be strong enough to deal with it.
That's compatibility, right? Like, do you mesh? And then it's about communication. And do you communicate the same way? Because everybody doesn't.
Yeah, and I'm a literal communicator. And I mean, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm a very literal communicator. So if you say something, I'm taking it at face value until you say something different. And you best believe I collected all the information and I'm comparing every time you say something. So
wow.
Damn. Look, I said the same thing, Marie. I said, damn.
Yeah, that's you got to think, man. This man is.
He might be able to be himself, but he ain't gonna make your life fun. Shit.
It takes a certain person for that. It would take a certain type of person.
Yeah.
It ain't for the faint at heart. That's for sure.
Woo.
Oh, so it's your way of the highway. Got it.
No, it's not quite my way of the highway. That's not what I'm saying.
Basically, that's what he said. Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying.
Was I saying not as I do?
No, that's not either.
Okay.
So see,
what did Maria say?
I see it's getting lost. She said, "Do as I say, not as I do." because the thing about it is that person has the same luxuries as I'm asking to be afforded. So they can come in and speak however they want to speak. They can do the things that they do. If they need encouragement, I'm there to encourage. If they don't want the encouragement, I'm there not to encourage. I'll be the silent support. So they have the same, I'm giving the same thing that I would want.
They may not want what you want. And I think that's a fundamental respect. And people don't want the same things. Like you expect to
Maria.
It would have to be somebody.
Maria.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna let Jeff talk because he's talking a whole bunch of bullshit right now. I want to hear
okay, what's the bullshit? Tell me the bullshit.
You say you're the silent supporter.
I'll be a silent supporter. That's what you want.
Because I mean, the thing is that
I ain't even gonna put your. I can think of a couple situations. I was like, well, you said that. Well, you did that.
We're not gonna go there. Hey, we're not going there.
But I wasn't silent at that time. That's not what. That wasn't.
Look, Maria. I tell Jeff, I would never say no shit like that to nobody.
Oh, you would just say some other shit. You would say shit that I wouldn't say.
Uh-oh. Hey, guys. Hey, am I going to have to mute you guys? We're going to the left.
Me, everybody.
No, this is good though. This is good because it just lets us know we all got our things, whatever it is. It's been times when the three of us have been on the phone hashing out our differences, and we wish we would have recorded some of those times because
Lord
we
have
really
mercy.
get into it. And it's like a 3-man tug of war. Nobody's giving an inch.
An
Okay?
inch. An inch.
Nobody.
Not even this, yo.
And then if it's two people going at it, then one person trying to find the peace in it all.
Like Jason just did.
Because my thing is, like, to be honest with you, the thing about it is in knowing we know each other's personalities. So there'll be times where, like, there've been times where you and I have had it, Jay Wendell, and Jeff has had to come in and be the middleman and work things out. But it's just a matter of in understanding how people communicate. I think that's very important, because communication is very valuable in relationships. And if you're not able to adequately communicate, sometimes you need an outside voice to communicate. There may be times where even if it's a dating relationship, you may necessarily want to go to counseling while you're dating, just to understand how to communicate with each other. That's if you care enough to help foster that relationship. Because I mean, everybody does communicate differently, and everybody feels that everybody feels what they say is their truth. And in understanding that that's their truth, sometimes you have to understand how to convey that truth. I know it's actually, something that I even pray about. It's like the wisdom to say things in a way that it can be received, because everybody may not be able to receive it the way that you say it. And sometimes you have to seek outside guidance to help you say things and convey things to your partner in a way that they're able to receive it if you're not able to do it on your own. So again, this goes back to one thing that I'm a big proponent of, which is mental health and utilizing therapy and counseling. Sometimes you need to use that therapist. Sometimes you need to go to counseling just to understand how to convey it. But if you don't care about that person, it don't matter.
But I also think, Jason, that there's open and honest communication. I mean, there's communicating, but if you're not being honest about how you feel and what you're thinking and what your real needs are, then it's going to be tough. I mean, it doesn't matter how many therapists you go to. I mean, the reason you got to be open with that person and you got to be honest with that person. And it's not pleasant all the time. The process ain't pretty. Someone once said to me, process ain't pretty. So, if you can get down to that point where both of you are being open and honest about how you feel and what you really feel, and not trying to sugarcoat it, because the message is going to get lost in the delivery, but that person is astute enough and they know you well enough and they know that you don't have bad intentions for them, that they can hear the message. And then that person you're comfortable saying it, you're comfortable receiving it, and the delivery kind of goes to the side. But that comes over time. That's not an overnight thing. And that's where we get stuck, at this age, is because we feel like we're running out of time. But you gotta work through it.
You agree with that, Maria?
We're not running out of time. Listen, we're infinite, first of all, but that's a whole other conversation. Ooh. No, I don't have limited beliefs. What does running out of time mean?
Uh-oh.
I'm just curious. I'm just generally.
So for example, I mean, now if you go through the timeline of a relationship, you say, okay, if you've been dating a person for a year, you've been spending a considerable amount of time with them, you would expect what?
A year?
Like, I don't know. Some people get married. I mean, if we're talking about timelines, I think.
Okay, well, in general, what I've heard is that after a year, you need to be, everybody's re-questioning, what are we doing? What are we doing here? What's going on? As opposed to, or after 2 years, what are we doing? Where we are? Where are we at? Or after 3 years, they're like, yo, you took too long. You didn't ask the question. So now I'm out. I got to move on because I don't have time to go through this and figure out and you not know what you want. They would say that a man would know what he wants after a year, or a man would know what he wants after 3 months, or he knows if he wants to marry you after such amount of time. But in reality, when you get into the practice of it,
5 minutes.
Did you just cut me off?
Becomes about communication, because if someone is hoping somebody's going to read their mind or do the right thing, it's not going to happen. So if someone has
no, that wasn't a cutoff, Jeff. I'm saying a man will know after about 5 minutes.
I think
that's what I was saying.
Know soon, early on. So if it's been a couple of years, unlikely.
Yeah, Jeff. So that wasn't a cutoff, Jeff. I was saying a man generally knows relatively soon whether or not what you can see this person as. Like, I think within initial initial contact, you can tell whether or not this person's going to fall into one of three categories: a friend, a booty call, or a long-term relationship.
I disagree with that. I think in a few minutes you learn whether or not you want to learn more. And then once you get to that point, you learn whether or not you still want to know more. I don't think you get to the point. I mean, yeah, you could. If you just out dating a bunch of people, that's fine. If you're doing the sprints, that's fine. You can have a bunch of sprints. But if you run that marathon, it's going to take some planning. It's going to take some thought. It ain't just going to come overnight like that. If you're really trying to be with somebody long term, then it's going to require some effort and time. And it doesn't. Sometimes some people are lucky enough that it happens in a couple of months or a couple of days or in that moment. And then the other people, a lot of people met when they were in school because they spent a lot of time with that person in school. And so when you're outside of school, you don't have that utopia to try and get to learn somebody. So you're trying to learn their ways and learn different things about them. You have different struggles that you go through to help you understand the person. So, I mean, you know whether or not you want to know more. Yes, that's what you know. But can you really say that this is the person I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life? Because someone would say it, and then 3 months later, they done.
Say what? In 3 months. They hit you with the pull-out game.
What you talking? You talking about the 90-day shelf life?
Pull-out game.
I'm not even talking about the 90-day shelf life. I'm just talking about it takes 3 months. At 3 months, you really start to evaluate whether or not you want to know the next 6 to 9 months.
That's true.
You really haven't gotten to marriage at that point. I don't believe, but what do I know? I'm thinking about the marathon. I'm not thinking about the sprints. I can have a bunch of sprints. I don't want that. You
can have a bunch of sprints. Whore.
But I don't want that. I don't want that. My whole phase is over. I'm not in my whole phase anymore.
You're just straight prostituting now.
What, I'm doing it for money? I'll get paid for
it. Hey, you guys, man, this has been an excellent talk. We are now at the top of the hour. Again, we thank everybody for participating. Oh my goodness, like the chat was on fire. My God, like it is. What makes it like the chat was so on fire that people started liking other people's comments, like, and I'm just seeing in this joint like, good God Almighty. But we thank everybody for coming on. This has been another episode of In Brotherly Love, and when we think about Black love and bringing back Black love relationships, a couple of things we got to stop doing. Number one, we got to stop competing against one another. We're not competing against one another. We're teammates. And the way that we're going to be able to build and sustain what has been given to us by our parents and our grandparents is by learning that we're teammates. We're not adversaries. And finding happiness in yourself is actually, before you can have a relationship with anybody else, you got to be able to have a successful relationship with yourself. Do you like you? If you don't like you, there's no way that you're going to be able to like somebody else, because you don't even like who you are as a person. But at this particular age, open communication, integrity, not sending warning shots through burner phones, but just be, you know what I'm saying? Being open and direct with your intentions, because I mean, that's another thing. Being direct in your intentions are ways that we're going to continue to build on the Black love that our parents gave us and our grandparents gave us, and so forth and so on. So this is Jason, that's the voice Gordon. I'm signing off first this time. And I'm gonna pass the mic to my brothers, and then we're gonna have Dr. Shindler close us out.
All right, well, I'll jump in.
Ladies.
Oh, Jay Wendell gonna jump in. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, ladies. Get you a man that mess up your lipstick rather than your mascara. Okay, that's my advice to you all. Y'all keep it together, and don't send warning shots on your burner phones, and don't let your single friend who ain't about no shit anyway, always talk about how messed up, messy men are. You don't want to.
Mama gonna get you.
You don't want to confederate with her, okay? you know, that ain't what you want to do. But as for what you do want to do, you want to be that storm, and there's nothing wrong with being that storm. But don't be that storm people run from. Be that storm people chase. All right. So that's what I got to say. We'll be right back at you next week with another episode of In Brotherly Love. This has been a great show. Maria, I really enjoyed your comments. I know Jeff got a little bit long-winded because he does sometimes, but we really we gotta have you back.
Hey, pot, meet kettle.
And maybe discuss this issue or some other. But again, this is Jay Wendell Gordon, the Warrior Lawyer. Y'all know who I am. And we'll see y'all next week with another great show.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, again, this was an excellent show. Was a little, we were trying to figure out what was going to happen with little Jason had up his sleeve, but he pulled it together and it was very exciting. And Dr. Shindler, we really appreciate you being on and providing your insight and thoughts about these relationships and these guys out here. And I'm gonna be like my brothers, throw the burner phone away. You don't have to fire the warning shots through the burner phone. Just let them go, walk away, just smile and wave. Just smile and wave.
And at this particular stage in the
balance, don't choose balance.
And at this stage of the game, asking whether or not they're married should be in your top 5 questions. Dr. Shindler, go on ahead and close us out.
Dr. Shindler, leave us with your Schindler's List. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, Schindler's List. There we go.
To the Gordon brothers, gentlemen, it's been a privilege. Thank you for having me. I leave this message that we always should walk in integrity, and love is the why. Happy Wednesday.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you.
Brotherly Love will be right back at you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.